Okay. So, welcome. And I'm going to add this recording to the free group too later tonight. So if you're watching back, feel free to drop any questions, anything you want to talk about in the, comment field for this video. But what I really wanted to touch on tonight is mindset, which to me is the quintessential driver for not only getting into a mode of changing your nutrition, but also helping yourself remain in that mode and continuing to grow in it. Because it's not as if you hit this switch and all of a sudden you're amazing with your nutrition. It is a long, I don't want to make it sound like it's dreaded, but it's a journey. And I'm, I don't know, 13 years into this right now of going through a weight loss, a maintenance, trying to figure out, where I'm at as I get older, working through different, pieces and seasons of life, just like everybody. And it didn't become like natural. You know what I mean? It doesn't just all of a sudden I figured it out and now every stage is easy. So I hope that gives you something like to grow off of, like, just that it's not no one is not struggling. That's not even the right words, but you know what I'm saying? We all have something, some food quirk, some mindset thing, something we're working through, and it's totally normal. So it's just figuring out how you can best help yourself. And I'm hoping we're just going to go through a series of quotes that I really like and thought ideas of changing your mindset. And I hope tonight you take away a nugget that's for you. Something that you you hear it and you're like, oh, that really resonates with me. And that's something that I can take and I can build off of. Maybe it becomes a mantra for you. Maybe it just becomes something you look at each day. I mean, we have so many great tools, right? Like, who doesn't look at their phone every day? There's my cat. Who doesn't look at their phone every day, right? You could put something on your back screen. You could put something on your computer. You could put a Post-it note on your bathroom mirror. You could write on your mirror. There's just something, there's all kinds of places where you can kind of remind yourself that it's okay to be where you're at. It's okay to grow. And it's all a process. We're not failing at any of it right now. Okay. We're learning. And sometimes it's a little painful and it feels like maybe you're stuck, but hopefully something in here tonight will help you just kind of get to that next place. So I don't know what's best to share here. If I go in the chat, I'm gonna send this one as a test and see how well you guys see it. Okay, so are you guys able to see that all right? If I'm just posting it in the chat, it's a quote from Alana.
All I see is Deanna Thornton shared a file in the meeting.
Oh, so it's a file.
No, you can see it.
Okay, so improve your health equals improve your life.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now I see it.
Everybody seeing it? Okay, good. So that's the one I put in our group. But, when you work on some part, like when you're working on your nutrition, that's going to help every aspect of things. Just like when you work on your fitness, that's going to help all your aspects. So I want you just to think in terms of how can you help yourself? It doesn't have to be tied to what your body looks like, what your weight is. It simply can just be about proving how you feel in your life and about things. So let's put the first one we're going to talk about up here. Okay, these are fun because I can't read them. They're small. So then we get to read them together. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. So Alana, if you haven't followed Alana, she is the creator of To Be Mindset. She's a registered dietitian at UCLA. She teaches also down there and has research. She just has a lot of great, quick mindset things on her Instagram and on her Facebook. So I'd highly recommend following her. She is where I've used a lot of those spot the difference things. She just has a nice shift in thinking about how to plate your food, how to change your mindset for things. So she says, easy motivation hack. change have to get to, right? So I get to eat healthy. I get to take a walk every day. That's such a simple tip, right? But means it changes everything in how you feel about it. When you like, I have to eat this celery today, blah. Like who, right? It sounds awful. Oh, am I gonna freeze on you guys? It says my thing's unstable.
You just
Okay.
froze. You were talking, but your picture froze.
Okay. I might have to, Jack's on his, what you call it? VR. I might have to have him get off.
It's only an hour. He can do it.
Right? So, instead of I have to do something, I get to nourish my body with foods that help me feel great. I get to work out today. I get to move my body so I can boost my mood. It's a totally different way of thinking of things, a totally different, way of coming to what you get to do. So I want you to think about that one in terms of, like, what do you get? What'd you get to do today? And when do you kind of walk into something and you're like, oh, I have to do this? Now, I mean, I'll admit, like, if there's laundry, I have to put it away. Like, that still stays the same. I try to make it exciting sometimes. I try to feel really great about I get to sit in my chair because my laundry's put away.
That's good.
Right?
You get to
it
wear
looks
clean
really
clothes.
great when I walk into my room and things are put away. But yeah, so I want it's just a quick mindset shift, but really changes how you feel about it. So listen up here, when you're making your food or when you're, doing something and it creeps in where you're like, oh, I have to do this. And it's usually a comparison, right? Like they get to do that. I have to be like this. Okay. Let's go to the next one here. Okay. So these are all my favorite. You're not saying no to unhealthy foods. You're saying yes to taking good care of you and your body. I was just having this conversation with my friend the other day about self-care. We so in our culture overuse self-care. Like I'm having this beer, this brownie, self-care. Hashtag self-care. No, it's not. It's not going to help you feel any better. It's not going to change whatever you're stressed about. It's not going to, if you want to have that and enjoy it, fantastic. But it's not going to like make anything less stressful, less emotional, put away, to-do list done. It doesn't change any of that, right? So self-care is literally doing the things that help you feel better. Maybe it's even getting organized, right? Making the to-do list so you can mark off the to-do list. Meal prepping so that you have foods that you can rely on for the week that are available. Going to the grocery store, going down the vegetable aisle and just throwing a bunch of stuff in the cart and you'll figure it out later.
I have one that goes with that.
Yeah.
It says sacrifice is giving up something good for something better.
Right. Yes. And I've heard it the same, like giving up something good for something great. Right. It was Sue and I were talking about this earlier because we both were reading articles about shopping. And I've decided I'm not just going to be like buying willy-nilly right now. And part of that is we're going to Europe in September and I don't need to spend money on these things. I'd much rather like spend it on that trip. So I'm like not getting the things that are just quick hits right now. I'm waiting for the big hit where I get to experience this thing I've been wanting to do for decades. And so it's, you can take it to your nutrition plan too. Like you feeling good in your skin. Do you want that quick hit thing right now? Or do you want to feel like you're in control of you and how you are and how you feel as you go? So I always think about it too, like one thing, and this isn't in her quotes, this is one of my favorite things that helped me through is I'm always like, I'm not saying no to that because I can have it anytime I want. that helped me tremendously to be like, I can have this brownie anytime I want. I don't have to have it right now. That's something I have access to at any time. I can make it, I can buy it. I can come back to this restaurant and get it if it's something that's really important to me. Right? So if it like, I don't have to have it this time. Cause sometimes I would get like feeling like, like something's available right now, so I need to have it right now. Like, what if I can't ever get this again? So if you're like me, then hope that helps you out with that. So think about saying yes to how you're feeling. Does anybody have anything they want to add on that? Hi, Maribel. Look at your cute stocking hat.
Thank you. I just got back from the street, so I'm close. Thank you.
Okay. Here's our next one. Life is too short to not like how you feel. The best part is that how you feel is always in your control. Choose to feel good. You deserve it. That almost makes me like that makes me a little emotional. Like you deserve to feel good about yourself. And so many times we're too busy thinking about what we don't have or what this other person has or whatever situation we're in, but we get to choose. We're in control of how we feel about things. And sometimes that can be kind of a tough pill to swallow, right? Because it's easier to blame other things, but we get to choose how we react to whatever is happening and how we feel about it. I did a lot of listening to the life coach school, and she's really great about helping you like shift your mindset about that, about how you think about things. So that would be a recommended podcast if if that's something you struggle with. But it's like taking that ownership that you get to make the change. You get to, right? You don't have to, you get to make the change. You get to be in control of where you're going. It doesn't necessarily mean, like I said earlier in the call, it doesn't mean that like you're going to snap your fingers and all of a sudden it's going to be easy. But that's what I love about what we have here on Thursday nights is it's a place we get to come back to and be like, okay, it's okay. Let's regroup. Let's regather. Let's, try to have some kind of nugget that keeps us going for the next week to work on something and to improve, where we're at. All right. I think I only have one more. Let's see. Oh, maybe I have two more. Sorry. I was getting really excited about copying these down. Oh, this one's so good too. Okay. So be quicker to compliment than to criticize. Now, here's the question. When you read that, do you think of complimenting other people or yourself? Because I read it and I think, oh yeah, I should compliment other people. I don't do that enough.
I think that it's compliment others, but criticize ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the key to this post
Mm-hmm.
was compliment yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
we're very quick to be like, berating ourselves for what we ate, what we didn't do, what we didn't follow. But you wouldn't talk to your friend like that. Like you wouldn't have friends if you talked to them the way you talk to yourself sometimes. And so it's like you kind of have to have that conversation with yourself of, hey, yeah, we really messed that up. That sucks. Let's figure it out. What can we do better next time? What is something that I could do to help myself? I just totally put down a bag of chips. Could I maybe not buy the chips next time? Could I, have something that's already meal prepped and available so that the chips don't matter because I need to eat these leftovers? Could I make sure I've eaten enough during the day so that I don't want to go binge on something? Whatever it is, right? How can we help ourselves? How can we get to that place of, maybe you look in the mirror and you're just like, ugh. So maybe you can say, you know what, I did 50 squats today, and this body is strong, right? It's taking from things that you like, you maybe don't feel great about, and getting to a neutral place, and then getting to a place of respect and admiration for what your body has helped you go through, live through, be through, because you're still here and your body's done that. And it, continues to sustain you and try to help you. I mean, all it's trying to do is keep you alive, right? So, trying to figure out ways to complement yourself, even if you're in the place where you're not crazy about something. Super critical. Okay. Last one. I don't even remember what it is. This is fun. This is fun. Oh, that's the same one. Wait, it's similar. Remembering that every time you say no to something, you say yes to something else. Pass on that sweet. It'll be there again tomorrow if you want to have it. Saying yes to your why feels amazing when you do it. Right? So similar idea that we already talked about, but there is so much power in saying no. And I think about this a lot when I think about people who are not drinking. Because how often have you gone somewhere and maybe you're not drinking and people are like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you doing this? Or like you're having a salad and they're like, are you dieting? I mean, but there's power in you choosing to do what you want to do so you feel good. And I always find, like, on the whole drinking thing, I find it funny because I have some friends who they're kind of drink pushers. And I'm like, they just know now that, like, I'm not always drinking, and it's totally fine. I'm the same Deanna not drinking as I am drinking. So, what does it matter to you what I'm doing? So thinking about that in terms of it's kind of the get to idea, right? Saying no isn't a negative. Saying no can be you taking that next step toward what you really want. Taking that next step toward feeling how you want, taking that next step toward making your decisions so that you feel in control of where you're headed. I think that was one of my biggest things when I was losing weight, and I'd lost weight, but then I felt like I was in the yo-yo place where I was like, can I really keep it off? And can I keep doing this? Because it felt really hard. And now I just lost where I was going. My brain is like not there right now. But it was like, I'm trying to think of hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, I remember I wanted to feel like I could control it. Like I could, like, by doing this, this would maintain. So this was pre Beachbody, and it's actually when I started in the Beachbody groups, and I started on an actual nutrition plan. Because before that, I was kind of winging it, right? Like I was just making my own food. I was clearly in a calorie deficit, but just trying to eat whole foods and, eat nourishing things, but I wasn't following any kind of plan. And so when I started following the plan, I was like, oh, this makes sense. And now it's second nature to just put certain meals together. It's just, it becomes just kind of like, I noticed today my friend dropped off a cookie for me, and we always split it, and I ate half of it and then I put it away. And later today I was like, I don't even want the other half. I'll have the kids eat it. Like my routine is to have half that cookie and then I'm done. So I had half the cookie and now I'm done. But like, that's a habit. That's an unconscious, thing that I'm doing. And that's where a lot of this comes to. The more you put in these habits, the more you say yes or no to different things, it becomes so much easier and just part of what you do. You don't feel the emotional tie to saying no to a brownie or no to a cake or whatever it is. It's just part of what you do. So I'd be curious, so what would you guys add to any of these like thought ideas, mindset ideas that you feel like is, like your big thing? Something that helped you. Did I freeze or did you freeze?
Well, it's something that has helped. I think it's you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Like, because you're still moving and I can see everybody else moving. Something that I feel like has helped me just in general with like making decisions and choices, like whether it be with food or activities or flows or anything. It's something that I've said to you guys before when I've been looking at lately. And if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. And that's what I look at it as. Like, if it's not like, yes, I want this, or
Yeah.
yes, I want to do this, or whatever, then it's like, if I'm sitting there going back and forth going, I don't know. Okay, well then that's a no.
Yep. Yep. I love
So-
that.
Mhm. Yep. And I do the same thing with desserts and stuff too. Like, if I take a bite, because I will eat a dessert. I will plan for it. I'll be like, I am going to have a dessert. This is what's going to happen. But if I start eating a dessert and it isn't good, I'm like, yeah, that's not worth it. I'm like, nope, we're done. I'll come up with something else like later on that I know I would love way more than to actually eat something that it's like, meh.
Yes, definitely. And it's, like we've talked about before, the whole dating idea, right? JJ's method of, you take a bite, and if it's not like, wow, I want to go on a second date with this dessert, then you're done. Like, why? You don't need to keep going. But maybe you want the second date. Maybe you want to marry it, right? Maybe you're in for the whole thing.
Yeah. It's really like that with Christmas cookies. That was a big one. Like, if I really don't like this cookie, I know there's other cookies that I will like more.
That's
So I
right.
do not eat
It's a lot of
cookies.
fish in the sea.
Right? Like, there are a lot of them there. I will pass on this one and I will eat that one. Thank you.
I want to know about meal planning, the way a lot of you people do it. Do you like on a weekend plan for the week? Do you plan every night for the next day? What's the best way to get into a habit?
I'm all over the board with that, and I am not a like sit down Sunday, make everything for 7 days type of girl. I like to cook it more fresh, and I think you have to go with whatever your lifestyle looks like. And I think starting out, you start making maybe a double meal at dinner so that you have lunch for the next day, or make on Sunday or Monday or whatever your day is, right? Pick your day that you can grocery shop and start something. Maybe make breakfast for my breakfasts are about 4 days at a time. So I'll make that, and then have that prepped for 4 days. But it's like you start out with chunks that feel really doable so that you get that down, and then you can build on that. So like when we do the meal prep class, that would be an example of creating 2 to 3-ish meals, maybe for, depending on how many people, are eating, but for just one person would be somewhere around 3 or 4 meals usually. So you've got, Monday to Wednesday kind of taken up on, or handled for Sunday on that Sunday. So if that's something that, like, if you can get through 3 days of meals in a row and you feel fine with eating the same thing, then, try to do that. Try to do a breakfast, lunch, just one recipe of a breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a Sunday. But it's really how much time you can and how much you like to cook fresh, how much you are okay with eating leftovers. And a lot of recipes, like the turkey chili, Lily mentioned that one. We do need to drop that link in there because I have not, that one's so good. Like a turkey chili, I will make a double batch I'll eat it for probably 2-ish meals, and the rest just goes in the freezer for another time. Cause it's like, I know if I really, like, if my husband's traveling and he's not there to back me up on leftovers, then things go in the freezer much quicker, because I'm like, I know, like, I can get like maybe 2 meals out of leftovers, and then I'm like, no, thanks. I'm good.
And do you all journal on that paper where you mark all your containers? And do you do it through the day or at
I
night?
do it on my phone
Yeah.
Okay.
in the app.
I can't do
It
it.
Makes it
I
really
have-
easy to keep track.
I printed out the papers from the book. 'cause
When
I
I'm
like
being when I'm being really good, I make my meal, I track it, and then I eat my meal.
So you do each one separately.
Yeah.
So you have to look and see how many.
But
are
some
left when the
people
next meal
like to
comes.
some people like to use their piece of paper or tracker to say, okay, this is like, they'll write down what they're having for the day. And so then, so then they've tracked it before they eat it, and they know exactly what they're having. I think you just
Mhm.
have to go off of what really works best for
Works.
you. I
Mhm.
like to have I'm a little more loosey-goosey on what I have planned. I know I have ingredients always in my house. Like, that's one thing. My grocery shopping has some standards that I can just always come up with something. Like today, came up with some pizza pot, whatever that's called, gooey pizza pot, pizza bake. I'm like addicted to that stuff. It's amazing. But so yeah, so I made that for lunch, and of course it's gone already because my children are home from school today. So now I have to figure out lunch again tomorrow. What would you guys, Lillian, Bev, what would you guys say about like how you're meal prepping? I don't know if you're similar to me or a little more.
Kathy, did you read our post in the, are you in that group?
Yeah, she should be. You're in it, aren't you, Kathy?
Which group are you talking about?
The stop dieting, start eating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been going through that.
Okay, because we had a big meal planning, prepping, grocery shopping post yesterday and today
Yeah.
about it. But I tend to, one of the reasons why I love the meal prep class is because I can make the 3 meals or whatever, 3 dishes that we're making, and then I can eat those for 2 or 3 or 4 days. I love doing sheet pans full of baked veggies and maybe a bunch of baked chicken or whatever meat I'm going to have for the week, and then I can use it different ways. So that's and it's super easy. You can make bowls out of your chicken and your baked veggies, and with brown rice and some beans, and you're getting a balanced meal that way.
So you just make whole trays and put them in the refrigerator, and then when you go to make the meal, you portion it out?
Yes, I am not a huge I don't have time to sit in the kitchen and cook a very huge elaborate meal. And my kids are not as adventuresome as I would like them to be. And they hate spicy food, and I love spicy food. So a lot of times they will eat different foods than I eat, just because I love the spice, and they are not into all the vegetables that I like. So yeah, I'll make a huge, pot of veggies, and then a huge whatever kind of meat I'm gonna have. I'll cook up some ground turkey and then some chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are cheaper than chicken breasts, so I'll do those, and then or I'll get a Costco chicken and use a Costco chicken, over and over again. You can make salads out of that, or
Oh, you
bowls,
do?
or
Wow.
Yep. And any store, any grocery store, a lot of them carry organic cooked chicken already done in the deli area that
Okay.
you can just take it home and then cut the breasts off and the legs, and kind of use everything from that chicken in several meals. So that makes it much easier and faster. So
Okay.
I think you have to figure out what works for you and your family.
Yeah.
And like my husband will eat leftovers if it's lasagna or spaghetti and maybe steak. Other than that, there's no, he doesn't eat any leftovers.
He's not
And
diving
so-
into the roasted veggies before you can get in there.
What was that?
He's not diving into the roasted veggies before you can
No,
get.
those are all mine. if I put something together, like if I make a pasta dish or something, so I'll take the lentil pasta and cook that up, and then I'll take some chicken that I've cooked, or the ground turkey and put that in there, some pesto sauce, and then the veggies. If I make that and give it to him, he'll eat it if it's leftovers, but that's a new dish that I've made. If he won't eat it again the second day, in other words.
Okay.
So you kind of have to learn what works for your family and how to make it easy for yourself. I just find that that works and is easy for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, when I first started this, it was over a decade ago. And so, what I did then and what I do now, I mean, like it has morphed the entire journey. And I've been eating the same quantity of food for so long that about the only time I really need to focus on tracking is when I change that quantity, then I need to start really focusing on like, okay, I need to remember this. But I literally have my container counts in my head and I eat a lot of the same types of things. And I used to literally have to like the first time I ever saw the Portion Fix containers, I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm never going to do this. This is so hard. And then after about 2 weeks, I pulled my big girls up and I'm like, okay, let's sit down. Let's map this out, because I knew that I had to actually see okay, this is what I had to make a plan or else I wasn't going to get all the containers in.
Yeah.
So I would plan on Wednesday evenings before I would go. Well, actually back then I shopped on Fridays. So on Thursdays, I would plan what we were going to be having for the week, what I was going to be eating, what we'd need for the kids and whatever for their lunches and breakfast and stuff. And that's when I make my grocery list. And then I knew what I was going to be making then. And we will bulk cook over the weekend. Like we used to bake, I cannot even tell you how many pounds of chicken breasts every single weekend. And then we would shred that for salads and wraps for the kids. And gosh, I can't even think. I mean, like we cut up a bunch of vegetables, and we would bake, or what else we would do? We would pretty much everything we wanted veggie wise already cut up and in bags, so that all I would have to do is then just cook them in the evenings. But like we would prepare our lunches ahead of time and stuff. Now, since like probably Gut Protocol, I stopped altogether, like making my lunches ahead of time. Actually, I kind of stopped before that because I knew that I would have enough time to just throw something into a bowl. And I do a lot of bowls. Like we always have rice. Yeah. I've always got rice. Like when the rice goes away, then I know that the next day or that at that point when I empty out the rice, I'm getting more rice. Like I'm making more rice. I'm not waiting until I have to have it. I pre-bake sweet potatoes and portion them and put them into plastic bags so that I can just stick them in the toaster oven and warm them up. Because they taste better than microwave sweet potatoes because
Yeah, they
they just
do.
don't taste the same. And let's see what else. Gosh, I mean, yeah, I throw bowls together and then when every single night we pretty much make more vegetables than what we're going to eat, so that then we can use those veggies in bowls for the next day's lunches. And when we used to
make the vegetables? What do you do?
I put them into a pan. I cook them in a pan most often. Like I take a teaspoon of coconut oil and
Okay.
then if it's frozen vegetables, like I'll get a broccoli Normandy and I'll get a broccoli and I'll throw some bell peppers that I've cut up and throw that all into a pan and I will season it. And I'm a firm believer in tons of seasoning on food And so, I mean, it's really whatever I want to do. Like I start with black pepper and like, depending upon how many bags of veggies I'm using or how many different types of veggies, I'll use 3 to 4 grinds of Himalayan sea salt. So I don't know what that really equates to. Probably not a whole lot, really. Over like three bags of frozen vegetables or something, like 3 pounds of frozen vegetables, basically. And then, whatever. If I want to do Mexican seasonings, then I do chili pepper and smoked paprika, Aleppo pepper, and cumin if we want cumin. Yeah, I don't usually add chipotle because our youngest doesn't really love spicy. He's okay with it, but somebody has a really heavy hand on the chipotle, so we just don't add it. And every time someone does, it's like everybody else in the house is like, I'm like, oh, that's pretty spicy. And the other ones are like, it's a lot, it's a lot. And I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, I mean, and if it's Italian, then I go with, basil and oregano. Oh yeah, I add oregano to the Mexican. Sometimes I just do dill and lemon. But I always do like the Himalayan sea salt and the black pepper to start.
I have a question. When you have fresh herbs, like if you get a bunch of parsley or rosemary or dill, how do you keep it fresh and how long does it last?
You can put it in
So
a cup, like parsley
Yeah.
and cilantro. You can put in a cup of water and it will last a lot longer.
In the
Um,
refrigerator or out?
yeah.
yeah, you like cut the bottoms of like the little itty bitty stalks. You just cut
Yeah.
those off, and then fill up your water so that you don't have leaves. Though that's the other thing. Make sure that like the leaves of it aren't in the water
Okay.
because that makes the water turn faster.
Here,
And then you
There you
like,
go. Yeah. Just like
Oh.
that. Oh, are
Yeah,
those
like that.
sprouts?
this is parsley. This is cilantro. This
Oh,
we got
okay.
from Amazon, and you fill it in the
Oh.
back with water,
Look
and
at
it
that.
keeps it fresh for so long.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have something like that. I usually use the bag that the that the stuff comes in, and I have the cup and I have everything sitting in there because do you remember those chipped beef, like the little
Yeah.
jars from chipped beef or pimento spread? Do you remember that,
Yeah.
Kathy? Yeah. Okay, so we have a
So the
couple of
baby food
those.
jars.
Well, a baby food jar possibly, but it's like the tallness helps with
Okay.
we always call them juice glasses, even though that's not what they are.
Okay.
They're like,
So the
They're
olives.
taller but thinner. Yeah, they're
olives.
My
taller.
grandparents
Yeah.
served orange juice in those,
Yeah.
so they've
Yeah.
just
Well,
always
my-
called
Right,
juice.
right.
and my grandparents did the same thing. So, but it's like it was it's what something came in from the store
The
back in the
green
day.
olives comes in a nice thin long glass.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah.
can fully use that. As
Yeah.
long as,
Yeah.
your base is fitting in there.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just take the plastic bag that it came that I bring it home in, and I
Yeah.
just kind of drape it over it, so that it's kind of open but not like
Okay.
taut, and I just
Yeah.
kind of get it close to the bottom. And yeah, I mean, they last as long as you keep them watered, and then as long as the leaves don't get
Oh,
into
thanks,
the
Melissa.
water,
Yep.
it works really nice.
And
But it is a pita. It's
Yeah.
not the easiest thing.
Parsley will like my I just put it in a pot I get a new plant every year, and like
Yeah,
mine's
me
still
too.
alive even though we've had some hard frosts, but parsley does really well in pots. Cilantro is a little trickier because it goes to seed kind of weird fast for me, but maybe that's just me.
Parsley
Basil-
lasts 2 years, when you plant it outside.
Yeah, and I usually get 2 or 3 plants, and that's enough to get me through summer. And I eat a Mediterranean salad just about every day in the summer because it's like refreshing, and I use a ton of parsley in it. So, I mean, there's lots of great ways to have it around, but dried is also great too. And what I was going to say is you can go, I do all bulk herbs and spices that are dried. So
Okay.
just get a little bit, and then it's more fresh too than buying some giant thing that's going to sit in there for years, and then you see it again when you move houses and you're like, how long have I had this thing, and why am I moving it to the next house? But so I try to get just small amounts of things that way that I know I'm not going to use a lot of, but it's available
Mm.
and it's way cheaper. Does anybody have any other like general questions? Are you good, Kathy? Like feel like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's all about starting where what fits with you,
Mhm.
right? Like and finding that one, like finding something. And I also like to look at it as is there a meal that's hard in your life, right? Like maybe dinner is hard to get done because of your schedule. So focus on somehow creating extra so that dinner becomes less hard. Either it's, you have stuff cut and prepped, or you have a crock pot, or you're, making meal prep so that you're just eating leftovers for dinner, whatever it is. Like try to figure out that hardest one to just help yourself. You'll feel a big difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions about anything or anything else you want to add?
All I was gonna say was, if you're like me and you want to know where your next meal is, and I know that that's supposed to be like a disordered eating is like if you're always focused on food, but I find that I don't focus on food if I know what I'm going to be having. Like
Yeah.
I can look forward to the meal, like I know like it's not weighing on me or anything, and it's pretty much more because I really like to eat.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I'm totally
And
with
so
you on that. If I have if I know a couple recipes I'm going to make this week or over the
Mhm.
next day or two, then I don't have to think about it anymore, right? Like I know what's happening. I can be excited about what I've decided to make, and then I can kind of move on with my life instead of
Right.
being like every 15 minutes, like, oh, I don't know what we're having tonight.
Mhm.
Because every
Yeah,
night when
like
we go to sleep, we ask each other, what are we having for dinner tomorrow? And I'm like, I gotta think about that again. Every day we have to think about
Every
what we're
day. I
eating.
know it's ridiculous. It's
well,
ridiculous. We have to eat
when
every day.
I have to eat every day,
so
3 times a day.
We get to eat
We
every
get to.
day.
so and then you can even do like themed days, and that makes it a lot easier too. Like if you're a
What?
person that doesn't mind themed days, like Taco Tuesday,
Oh, okay.
like I mean, it just makes life really easy. We generally eat Mexican twice a week. We eat like a fajita style bowl on Tuesday, and then we do it again on Thursday. So we know that that's happening. But on Tuesday we have ground turkey. On Thursday, generally speaking, we have chicken with that instead. And the chicken is generally already cooked because we already cooked it over the weekend, and we just cut it up, dice it up, throw a little bit more Mexican seasonings on it and warm it up, and it's done. So all we have to cook is the vegetables because we've already made the rice
Mm,
and it's in the refrigerator already. So like having a theme day really makes it really easy. Like some people will do breakfast for dinner, and
yeah.
that's like, I mean,
Yeah.
I could probably do that all the time, but get in trouble.
What kind of protein do you eat for breakfast besides eggs? Eggs.
Right now, I'm
breakfast is-
eating tuna, so I'm
Really?
not a good person to ask this question.
Yogurt.
Oh yeah, the banana pancakes are good. There's some protein pancakes if you like a pastry, I mean, if you want something that's still sweet. I'll do turkey bacon or turkey sausage that's the fixate sausage. So you're just making your own sausage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yogurt's
Oh,
good, Lily.
yeah.
Anything with
The carrot-
Shakeology is good.
Carrot cake egg bake is really good.
But
It
this-
does have eggs in it, but it's not.
Disguise.
It's like,
That's right, because
Huh?
yogurt counts as
It's-
protein and cottage cheese counts as protein too, right?
Correct.
But oatmeal is a yellow, but does it have protein in it?
It
oatmeal?
does. Yeah, steel cut oats has between like 4 and 6 grams, depending on what you have. Oatmeal, steel cut oats.
Yeah.
and that's actually good with eggs mixed into it. If you make like eggs over easy, and then you like mix it's like the yolk and the it's really good.
Really?
I used
It's
to do
also
that.
good with nutritional yeast and turkey bacon and green onions. You can make it savory. I've done that.
Well, that's kind of what it is with the eggs.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on how you season your eggs. So I use turmeric on my eggs, turmeric and salt and pepper.
Mhm.
So speaking of meal prep though, we have a meal prep class coming on Sunday and we have chocolate caramel brownie Muddy Buddies. I keep forgetting all the words in that one. So if you don't have that type of Shakeology, chocolate's going to be really good. Cafe latte is going to be good. Cookies and creamy, really any, I think even vanilla would probably be good because it's just mixed with nut butter and chocolate chips. So just about any of the flavors are gonna be good. Maybe not strawberry with the chocolate and peanut butter, but you know, hey, do you if that sounds really good. Give it a try. And then bell pepper nachos. So I don't think we've done this on meal prep, but I've made these a lot. I actually really like them left over too. I get the sweet peppers that are in the bag, you know, that are all different colors. And then you just chop off the end, chop them in half, and I just lay them out on a sheet pan. And there's ground turkey, and we'll do some cheese. If you're not doing cheese, you could put nutritional yeast in with the ground turkey to give it a little more cheesy flavor. And then we're going to be making that black bean hummus on the side. So that's going to be great. Like either you dip your nachos in it or you can drizzle some on top, you know, before you eat it. And then what was last? Oh, chicken satay with a peanut dipping sauce. So we will get the chicken marinated and ready. And then you can cook it, you know, at your dinner time or however you want to do it. I am not going to be skewering mine. I'm just going to marinate it and then probably stick it on the grill. So, you know, whatever works for you, if you don't want to go through the hassle of, you know, it depends on how you want your presentation, right? If you want it as an appetizer kind of feel and you want the whole skewer thing, awesome, do that. If you want to have a little less effort on it, just marinate it all and then fry or grill to cook it up. And then you can use that peanut sauce or not. I think the marinade's going to be pretty amazing on its own too. So whatever's fitting into your plan that day. And we'll be doing that Sunday. I'll put the recipes, the shopping list, and the link all in tomorrow in the groups. So everybody has it. And I don't, what's our,
I could only find the one recipe. I thought I was losing it. I could only find the chicken satay recipe. I couldn't find any of the others.
oh, where are you mean, were you searching for them?
Yeah.
They're all in the blog. So
Blog,
they're not
okay.
in bod or body. They're all in, they're all in the blog. Some of them might be in bod and body too, because sometimes they'll put recipes that were in there on the blog, but these are all from the blog. So everyone has access.
Well, the chicken satay is actually one of the Fixate. So that's where I found it.
So so that's in both places then. It'll be the blog and on body. And then, just a heads up. So I put in our nutrition chat too, like bod and body are merging. We are becoming body. So we will be starting to say body more often. That means everything. So it's not confusing, but everything's going to be in one place. Everything's going to be more streamlined. All the meal plans are going to be more simplified as far as lessons and getting started. So those changes happen on the 9th. What day is that? Today's the 1st. So it must be like maybe a
8th is Wednesday.
Saturday?
Thursday is
It's next
9th.
Thursday.
Next Thursday. Oh, it's the 2nd. So so that Friday then that you go into your app, maybe even Thursday, you'll start seeing some of these changes and simplifications. And I want to say too, if there's something like if you liked Alana's office hours or Autumn's deep dive videos, go watch those because they are going away. So the rest of it merges, gets better. Some of the old content like monthly newsletters, deep dive, some of those older videos, those will be archived and not available in the new system. And I think that's all I have. Does anybody have any other questions or things you want to chat about? I can't remember what we're doing for Funky Friday tomorrow.
We are doing winter blues.
Winter blues. All right. Oh, perfect. I've got some light blue leggings just sitting on the top of the heap right now. Perfect. Awesome. Well, everybody have a great night. And hopefully there was a nugget in there that you can take away and help you through your week.
No
Thank you,
nugget.
Dana.
Like no nuggets.
Yeah, not chicken nuggets. Yeah. Don't get crazy over there, Maribel.
Darn.
We can take a picture?
Yes, let me put my chat down. I'll stop the recording. Where's
I'm
that?
not good at this with the blog. If I do something, I'll just have turkey or grill or whatever, and it comes up a lot of recipes. So I like that.